Welcome to all final year students. In the previous sessions, we have discussed the meaning and definition of Johnson and Company, features of Johnson and Company. We have studied case laws. Then we also studied the lifting the corporate veil. There also we have studied few cases, and with that, I have completed two aspects of law. Now, today's session, I'll start the new concept, new chapter called classification or types or kinds of companies. Classification of companies, types of companies, or kinds of companies. All are one and same. Okay, I will share you the screen now. Yeah, hope you can see this slide. Yes, kinds or types of companies. The first classification is purely based on registration or incorporation of a company. So first classification is classification of company, classification of company based on or on the basis of registration or incorporation. There are three subpoints here. On the base of the registration, on the base of information, there are three types of companies: chartered companies, statutory companies, and registered companies. So let us discuss one by one. So chartered companies, the first one. A chartered company is a company which comes into existence under a special character or under a special charter or proclamation, under a special charter, 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 or proclamation, PROCLAMATION, issued by a monarch, 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 or crown. I'll repeat, a chartered company is a company which comes into existence under a special charter or proclamation issued by a monarch or crown. For example, the East India Company, the Bank of England, and the Chartered Bank are the examples. If a chartered company breaks any rule laid down by the charter or the crown, may cancel the charter. Okay. In India, please make a note. In India, chartered companies are not in existence after 1947. 1947 ನಂತರ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. So before that we had examples ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ. Now I'll come to the second one, that is statutory companies. The term itself indicates a meaning, statutory, ಕಾನೂನಾತ್ಮಕ, ಶಾಸನಬದ್ಧ. They are also known as corporations. Statutory companies are also known as corporations. Statutory company is a company which is incorporated, which is registered under a special or under a special act of the legislature, that is parliament or state legislature. A company is incorporated under a special statute to confirm its some special powers and privileges which it cannot claim under the Companies Act. So this method of incorporation is adopted for companies of national importance. This method of incorporation is adopted for companies of national importance. For example, Public utility companies such as railway companies, the Reserve Bank of India, the State Bank of India, Electricity Board, the life insurance corporations, Industrial Finance Corporation of India, etc. So you got the meaning of chartered companies. You got the meaning of chartered companies. Now you have to remember the key point with regard to the statutory companies. That is, a statutory company need not have its memorandum of association. Please make a point. A statutory company need not have its memorandum of association and need not use the word limited as a part of its name. Okay. Now I'll come to the third category or classification of companies on the basis of the incorporation or on the basis of registration. Number three is registered companies. Very simple. The term itself indicates a meaning. These are the companies which are formed and registered, under the Companies Act 2013 or were registered, WERE, were registered under earlier Companies Act, under earlier Companies Act. Hope this point is clear. Well, so I'll move to the second main classification, the classification of companies on the basis of liability of the members. Here, basis liability of the members, and the first classification was made on the basis of registration, on the basis of incorporation. So, incorporation or the registration was the base for the first classification. For the second classification, the basis liability of the members. Member ಹೊಣೆಗಾರಿಕೆ ಆಧಾರದಲ್ಲಿ there are three types: companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, and the third category is unlimited companies. Okay, make a small correction here. A, this should be B. Okay, and this should be C. Okay, even the first classification also is what happened like A, make it A, B, C. And second classification also, it should be A, B, C. There are three types, or you can write 1, 2, 3 also. Fine. Okay. So what do you mean by company limited by shares? As per section 4, subsection 1, subsection D, and subsection I, where the liability of the members of a company is limited to the amount unpaid on the shares. This type of company is known as company limited by shares. Company limited by shares is nothing but where the liability of the members of a company is limited only to the extent of unpaid on the shares, unpaid amount on the shares. If unpaid amount on the shares is zero, obviously the liability of the member is also zero. Okay. So what I mean to say is, if the shares are fully paid, the liability of the shareholders holding such shares is absolutely nil, absolutely zero. A company limited by shares may be a public or a private company, but it is required to use the word limited or the words private limited along with their company names, along with their names. Now come to second classification, that is B. Company is limited by guarantee. Company is limited by guarantee. Based on the guarantee given by the members. Some members have given more guarantee, more amount of guarantee, like that. Okay. So as per section 4, subsection 1, subsection D, and subsection 2, where the liability of the members of a company is limited to a fixed amount, which the members undertake to contribute to the assets of the company in case of its winding up. Such a company is called a company limited by guarantee. Here, in this example, in this case, the members will give the guarantee. Suppose if the company winding up ಆಯ್ತು, company close ಆಗೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂತು, ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂತು, ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದವಾಗ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್, ಕೆಲವು ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ, ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ತನಕ ಟು ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬೇರ್, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನೈತಿದೆ, the liability of the members of the company is limited to a fixed amount. A fixed amount ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? Fixed amount which the members undertake to contribute to the assets of the company in case of its winding up. Such company is called company limited by guarantee. Okay. Okay. I made a corrections ABC instead of previously it was AA. No, I made all the corrections ABC. Okay. Now, company limited by guarantee. So the articles of association of a particular company, articles of such company must state the number of members with which the company is registered. These companies may or may not have share capital. If they have share capital, the members are liable to pay the amount which remains unpaid on the shares, as well as the amount guaranteed by them. However, most of these companies are formed without share capital. Generally, company limited guarantee tala, these companies are formed without share capital, as the company is formed not for trading but for the purpose of promoting art, promoting culture, promoting clarity and education, etc. Is it clear? Yes. Now, what is unlimited companies? The liability is unlimited, correct? Based on the liability, the liability of the members is unlimited here. Section 3, subsection 2. Section 3, subsection 2 specially provides that any 7 or more persons in case of public company, 2 or more in case of private company, may form an incorporated company with or without limited liability. A company without limited liability is known as unlimited company. In case of such company, there is no limit on the liability of its members, which means every member is liable for the debts of the company as like, partnership. An unlimited company may or may not have a share capital. So these are the 3 classifications based on the liability of the members. And the third main classification is classification of a company. Companies are classified on the basis of number of members. Number of members. Here, number of members is considered as a base. Based on the number of members, here companies are classified. A private company and a public company. There are 2 types. A private company, as per section 2, subsection 68. Section 2, section 68. As amended by the Companies Amendment Act 2015. Companies Act was passed in the year 2013. Later on, it was made, some amendment was also made in 2015. Okay, that is why section 2, subsection 68 as per the Amendment Act 2015, defines a private company as a company which, by its articles of association, restricts the right of its members to transfer shares, if any. Restrict the right of its shares to transfer shares, if any, and limits the number of members to 200. Limit the number of members to 200, excluding the present and past employees. And this is not applicable in case of one person company, OPC. One person is not applicable in case of OPC. And another point to be remembered here in case of private company is prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe its shares or debentures. So there are three important points you have to remember in case of private company, my dear students. Point A or point 1, restrict the right of its members to transfer shares, if any. So that means restriction on transfer of shares. Number 2, limits the number of members to 200. The maximum number is 200. Correct? And this is not applicable in case of OPC, one person company. OPC is nothing but one person company. And the third point to be remembered in case of private companies, prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe its shares or debentures. Under a private company cannot invite the general public for the subscription of the shares. So agidre, shares are not freely transferable and maximum number limit is 200. Amele, private company cannot invite the general public to subscribe its shares. You 3 points you remember in case of private company as per section 2, subsection 68, as per the amendment which was made in 2015. So, to conclude, as far as private company is concerned, a private company may be a company limited by shares, a company limited by a guarantee, or an unlimited company. It may be noted that number of debenture holder may exceed 200. As far as debenture is concerned, it may exceed 200. Fine. The second classification on the basis of number of members is public company. There are two types. Okay, public company. The Companies Act has not provided any positive definition as far as public company is concerned. However, Section 2, subsection 71 of the Companies Act of 2013 just states that a public company is a company which is not a private company. Tumba simple ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Public company is a company which is not a private company. ಹಾಗೆ private company ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೆಯುವುದಲ್ಲ. Private company is a company which is not a public company ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೆಯುವುದಲ್ಲ. The section 2 subsection 68 as per the amendment was made in 2015 which clearly indicates that APC point ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ ಅದು ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. But as far as public company is concerned, there is no positive definition. So section 2 subsection 71 of the Companies Act of 2013 states that a public company is a company which is not a private company. In other words, a public company means a company which by its articles does not, negative, no restrictions, does not. So no restriction on the right of members to transfer shares. In case of public company, shares are freely transferable. Other private company now which restrict the right of members to transfer the shares. Illi are restrictions illa. So no restriction on the right of members to transfer the shares, which means shares are freely transferable. Similarly, there is no limit the number of members. There is no limit to the number of members. Other private company limit is 200. Illi there is no such limit. Any number alba. And no prohibition or any invitation to the public to subscribe for any shares or debenture of the company. In case of public company, there is no restriction for inviting the general public to subscribe its shares. Other private company there. ವಿಷಯ ಇಷ್ಟೇ, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಬರೆಯುವುದಾದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, now come to the fourth classification of a company. Classification of a company on the basis of control. On the basis of the control, we have two types: holding companies and subsidiary companies. So ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? Control is the base. Holding company and subsidiary company. I think you have studied in accountancy, in accounting you have studied. Hope you have solved problem on holding companies. Okay, so you know pretty well about holding companies. Holding company, as per the section 2 subsection 87 of the Companies Act of 2013, a holding company is a company which controls a subsidiary company. Very simple. As per section 2 subsection 87 of the Companies Act 2013 prakara, holding company is a company which controls the subsidiary company. Fine. Therefore, a holding company is a company which holds more than 50%, more than 50% of the nominal value of the equity share capital of the another company. More than 50% of the nominal value of the equity share capital of the another company are called holding companies. Fine. Now the second one is subsidiaries company or subsidiary company. Subsidiary company was defined in section 2 subsection 87 like holding company. So according to this section 2 subsection 87 of the Companies Act of 2013, a subsidiary company is a company which is controlled by a holding company. Subsidiary company is a company which is controlled by the holding company. Very simple. So no much explanations are required. Now I'll come to the fifth classification. Classification on the basis of the ownership. Classification of the companies on the basis of ownership. Again, here also there are two types. One is government companies and the second one is non-government companies. What do you mean by government company? A government companies are the companies as per the section 2 subsection 45. Section 2 subsection 45 of Companies Act of 2013. A government company means any company in which at least 51%, at least 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government matra alla, or by any state government, or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state governments. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 51% ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು? A government company is a company which is at least 51% of the paid up share capital held by the central government or by the state government, or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state governments. ಒಂದೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಮೂರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿ ಸೇ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ partly by one or more state governments. A government company may be a private or public company. For example, HMT, I think you heard about HMT. ಹೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, BHEL, HMT close ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. So HMT, BHEL are the examples, especially in India. Fine. So a government company, there are certain exemptions. Exemptions are available to this government companies. What are the exemptions? So before looking into the exemptions for the government companies, let us see what do you mean by non-government companies. One sentence ಹೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ exemption ಬರ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು. Government company ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ. Government company is a company on which at least 51% of paid up share capital held by the central government or by any state government or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state governments. Correct ಅಲ್ಲ? ಈಗ ನಾನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, a non-government company is a company which is owned and managed by private investors. Very simple. Non-government company is a company which is owned and managed by a private investors. Fine. Now come to the exemptions which are available to the government companies. Number one is government company need not use the world ಅಥವಾ words limited or private limited. Suppose a government company, public company ಆದರೆ there is no need of using the word limited. Suppose if the government company is a private company ಆದರೆ there is no need to use the words private limited. ಎರಡು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಇದೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ the second one is place of AGM. As per section 96, a government company may hold its AGM, annual general body meeting ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ AGM, at its registered office or such other place as the central government may approve in this behalf. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Then as far as dividend is concerned, exceptions ಇದೆ. Under section 123 subsection 4, government company need not deposit the dividend in a scheduled bank in a separate account within 5 days of its declaration. I'll repeat, as per section 123 subsection 4, government company need not deposit the dividend in a scheduled bank in a separate account within 5 days of its declaration. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಅದರ್ ದನ್ ದಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ನಾನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಇದು ರೂಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಬಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Then as far as managerial remuneration is concerned, as per section 197 relating to the managerial remuneration do not apply to government company. The section 197 ಹೇಳುವಂತದ್ದು related to managerial remuneration, that is not applicable to government companies. Then beneficial interest in the shares, as per section 89 and section 90, declaration of beneficial interest in the shares and the investigation thereof respectively shall not apply to holding of shares in government company. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ section 89-90 is also not applicable to the government company ಅಂತ ಆಯ್ತು. And other exemptions, the provisions of many other sections, like provisions like section 149 subsection 6a, section 160, section 162, 163, 170, 171, 185 and 186 shall not apply to government company. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಯಾವುದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರೊವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಅದರಿಂದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೆಂಟನ್ section 149 subsection 6 subsection a, section 160, 162, 163, 170, 171, 185 and 186 shall not apply to a government company. Okay, so today's session we have studied 5 main classification or 5 main types, 5 main kinds of companies. Correct? The first one is classification of companies from the point of view of incorporation or registration. The second is, which we have studied, is classification of companies on the basis of liability of the members. And number 3, on the basis of the number of members. And the fourth one is on the basis of the control. And the fifth one, just now we have studied classification of the companies on the basis of ownership. So sixth point, sixth classification onwards, we will discuss in the next session. Sixth classification, and the last seventh one is other kinds of companies. Other kinds of companies ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ as per the 2013 act ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಹುಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. There are 8 types that we will discuss in the next session. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you one and all.